Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League Season 16 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We are here for the penultimate round. We are followed next week by Brazil, but we're in Abu Dhabi tonight, and I'm joined by Riggsy X in the commentary box yet again. How are you tonight, Riggsy?
Thanks for the introduction, Ricky. Great to be back once again for another race in STB. Abu Dhabi, we're having a wee quick discussion just before the broadcast went live. We were quite conflicted in terms of how we felt about how this was going to go, but this traditionally is known in recent years for being the finale, the curtain call, or the conclusion to a Formula One season, but understanding that the STB League have made a couple of rearrangements and they've decided to finish in Brazil, so we've got that to look forward to as well. But Abu Dhabi should be a good race. I think it will probably be a two-stop, considering the degradation in the tyres and the temperatures, especially here in the Middle East. So very much looking forward to maybe seeing a diverse strategy by most of the drivers here. Maybe some will be a bit brave to try and go in at one, but I feel like it should be a two-stop.
Well, I have been told actually that it is supposed to be a one-stop, softs to mediums. So there may be a few going for that two-stop, but as far as I'm aware, most of them will be doing the simple one-stop.
I've always been led to believe that the two-stop isn't really much of a deficit as it is at some tracks in comparison to here. I feel like you can still get away with two-stop, but it's whether you want to sacrifice the track position or not. And I feel like, I'm looking at the nature of the circuit at the moment. Sectors 1 and 2 are quite quick. Like when you're kind of going full pelt, like when you're fully in attack mode, like the first and second sectors are quite attacking, they're quite aggressive, they're quite high speed. But the third sector's where it's quite technical and there isn't really many overtaking opportunities there. So I feel like with the fact that most of this track is actually quite quick, you can really benefit on fresh rubber and make strategies work like an undercut or even a two-stop. But it's kind of up in the air. You never really know how it's going to go. You never really know how well the drivers can actually manage the tyres and what their strategy is going to be in general. So we can leave that mystery. That mystery is our excitement, if you want to say that. I want to pose a quick side question. I can't find the stream on the Twitch.
Oh, it's just popped up for me. I was having the same issue.
I was like,
yeah, it is up. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Don't worry. But yeah, it is now up on Twitch, so it should be fine. But yes, last week out, if you did miss it, both championships were wrapped up by both VRG Dominic and Red Bull Racing. They were both back-to-back champions. So obviously no championships on the line tonight, nothing to necessarily fight for, but there's a lot of pride at stake and there's a lot of positions, especially the battle for P4, which are heating up towards the end of this season.
Definitely, there is still a lot out there to gain. Preferably, I think most drivers will be kind of going out there just to try and hit the ball at the park and try and get a personal best result, or try and achieve something that they've not really done as much throughout the season at early stages. Maybe even just to continue form and just kind of continue and just put the laps in, practice racing, and just generally get better at the game and prepare themselves for next season. Albeit the championships are done, I don't think the subsequent races following that are really wasted. These are still practices for the drivers. These are still races for the drivers to hone their skills and improve on what they've done already in the season. So I definitely don't think these final two races will be a waste in any form.
Well, as we were mentioning about the track, it is a very controversial one in terms of it being on the calendar at all. I think in all forms. But it is a track that can promote good overtaking. It's got a long back straight, and obviously DRS being very, very strong. But the twisty sections, the big runoffs, a lot of the time isn't a big favourite for the drivers. Do you think that's going to possibly affect their mentality, as in a way that they, obviously if they're not enjoying driving the car, then they're not going to be as quick?
Oh no, it definitely does come into a psychological factor. If you've not got the setup honed to your driving style or skill set, then you're going to have a tough time at any circuit, let alone Abu Dhabi. But like, that's another key element as well. Like we were just discussing there, the first two sectors were quite quick in this, and in terms of the track layout, and the first quite technical. So it is really striking that balance. And I feel like you don't really want to sacrifice too much of your straight line speed because your main overtaking opportunities are going to be in the two big DRS activation zones. You can sit and focus on through the third sector all you like. I don't really feel you really receive too much of a deficit from the rail in front. But if you can just like tuck up behind the driver in front and just wait for one of the two DRS straights, then it's easy pickings. But I mean, as you were saying, it really is quite hard to get the perfect setup and get everything to a T. And that's definitely going to play on the driver's mentality as well. So when you've got a good car, you're not going to do it. Like it's basic psychology. Like if you know something's not going to be good, then you'll know take it. Like, but it's about overcoming that as well. So I feel like it will have a part to play in terms of how drivers go to get and perform. I feel like setup will be very key.
Well, we have a new driver in tonight, and he will be joining us for the last two rounds of the season. We've got BMG Smasher, who's currently in the pit lane. Very quick driver, and obviously it's great to have him on board for these two races at the end of the season. Where do you expect him to be tonight?
I think it's quite hard to tell. BMG Smasher, I know the I've seen the BMG community on Twitter. And I've got on my Twitter account, like, I start to follow like their leagues just to kind of get familiarised with their drivers and kind of see how good they really are. Smasher, I've not really seen too much to make a comment on, but I mean, if he's an STB in the top tier, then he's got something about him for him to actually warrant his seat. I've not really seen him on track either, but I don't doubt that he'll. I feel like he'll fit in. That's all I'll say. I don't really know where, but he'll fit in. I don't really know anything about Mercury. He's a bit of a grey area for my knowledge of Formula 1 in the gaming community, so seeing his performance will be a bit of a surprise for me, regardless of where he starts.
Well, it'll be good to see what he can do, to say the least, whether he can get in with the top guys in this session, and obviously going on to the race as well. Currently to set a lap time, as we do have Hamjam on provisional pole position, closely followed by KF Libero. I'd say none of the championship top four have yet set a representative time. Obviously, we are seeing Dominic now come through the penultimate corner as he looks to set a lap in this session, but top 7 separated by a lot of outsiders so far, as Dominic only goes P12, so he's not set the bank lap that he's going to want to in this session, heading into the latter stages.
Definitely must have made a mistake. I had to lift off somewhere on that lap. A 37.8, I don't think that's truly representative of his talents, especially since he has just been recently crowned STB champion once again. But no, honestly, I think Hamdan and Liberal are really kind of starting to establish themselves as front runners in this league as well. I mean, maybe no hitting that same bubble as what Dominic and Bruno were. Bruno will during the season, apologies, but I mean, they've constantly been hitting great performances. They've been, like, we've seen Liberal winning in Silverstone and just hitting them up with podiums and high points finishes. Hamjam's just been building his way up. He was kind of no Bob doing in the midfield, but he was still getting points. But see now, he's sitting there and he's podium. He's like sitting there slapping in some good times and some good racecraft generally. And if he keeps that up, season 17, if STB can keep him around and his brother, I feel like they can kind of crack into that top 10, into that top bubble some point in the season, and I definitely feel they'll be one to watch if they stay next season.
Chuck has just gone P2 on the road as we see Matty return from the session, and he's had an incident. If we try and get a look to see what that is, it is in the final sector. He's hit the same wall I think he did in ERL, so not a session that Matty's going to want. He's going to be P18 at best.
Oh, it's just a matter. I don't know what exactly he's done there. I wasn't on board to see, but we can just see where the line of the car is. I think he must have just like relaxed the steering a wee bit on that turn, and the front right's just clipped the outside. Well, it's really hard to judge how much of the steering you need to relax to try and maximise the speed through there, and you've got that dangerous sausage curb on the inside of that turn as well, which can easily just throw that car into the wall for you if you're not going to do it yourself. So that bit's going to be that's going to be like a really tricky section for most of these drivers, because it's so easy to just take yourself straight to the scene of the accident once it goes wrong there.
Oh, we see Buckley heading through there now. He was purple in the middle sector, supposedly, so as he comes through the penultimate corner. And want to try and get a good exit through the final turn. Dash to the line. Can he put himself on provisional pole position in this session? Yes, he can. He beats Hamjan by half a tenth, and he goes on provisional pole with 6 minutes left in this qualifying session. A good lap from him. Can anybody contest it? It looks like Hamjan has just started his lap, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. As Eke is just coming through the end of the middle sector now. We'll run on board with him.
So Buckley first into the 139 to a 948 at the end. Eke is just coming down under the very glamorous hotel when running by the outskirts of the marina. He does look quite quick at the moment as he keeps his ERS deployment on hot lap, keeping it on its fullest disbursement there in the final sector. As he comes up to the line, green flag's being waved, and it's 6th fastest. An improvement of 8 tenths puts him 6th fastest. And I mean, Eke last season was a championship contender for most of the season, from what I can remember, and lost it on the final race. And then he was in the battle for so long, but I don't know what's really happened to him. He's a bit of an enigma. Like, you don't really know what's going to happen with him. Like, sometimes he can be really quick, and then other times he's just not there. But he is kind of sitting there representing time. He has 4 tenths off the pole time. 6th fastest. Definitely feel like he can go a bit quicker. But no, I feel like he is definitely still, regardless of how his form has been of late, he is still in that top 1 in my opinion. But 6th fastest for the McLaren on that lap there. Definitely looked steady, but it looked like he could have maybe pushed it a wee bit there throughout that final sector from what we saw.
Well, STB Maudi currently having a much better session than he's had the last few weeks. He's up in P8 and only 4 tenths off of provisional pole. So, good session so far from him. As Jamham goes across the line, jumps himself up to P7.
And we saw Maudi, I saw Maudi sitting talking about how he hoped the race was going to go in Abu Dhabi on Twitter, and he says it's one of his favourite tracks, and he's been saying that to me quite consistently throughout the season in the commentary box. Like, he looked forward to this race when it came on the calendar, and we did share different opinions, I'll say that much. But no, I think like another thing that Maudi hasn't really been hitting the mark when he came back into the car, but I mean, 9th fastest is quite a strong showing on his comeback drive this season. So very much looking forward to seeing what pace he can carry through into the race. And he's kind of pretty like smack bang in the middle of the grid so far. If I was to fall now, but I definitely feel like he's kind of hitting his stride here, and that's another thing as well. He loves Abu Dhabi, from what I've been seeing and hearing and everything else. So like, you love a circuit, you tend to do better there. But the circuits that you enjoy most is similar to how you would set up a car. If you set up a car perfectly, you're going to do better. If you like the track, you're going to do better. Like, it's all about preference, and it's all about psychology as well. So, quite happy to see Murray 9th at the minute.
Well, currently I am watching Bruno Will navigate through the final sector. He has backed off of his lap. He was 6 tenths up on a set of mediums, which was going to put him right on the cusp of provisional pole. So he is backed out of his lap. I'm not sure if he wants to come into the pits for a set of soft tyres. Dominic's also still out on track on 5 lap old tyres, same as Toxic Fusion, so they may be getting a bit of practice in just for that final run at the end, but they are yet to set reprehensible times.
They're going to be quite tight for time. We're just about 2 minutes in the session. Dominic chooses to go again.
Dominic's invalidated as well.
and this will be his lap. As he inverted this lap as well, Mercury didn't come up.
And Bruno's going again. Bruno is going again. I'm not sure if he maybe thought the lap wasn't good enough, but he's turned the ERS back up and he's going for it this lap as Smash has been disqualified from the session. As he comes up for the first time in the pit lane.
Oh, and
that's
Gravity's
not the start to the session he wants.
Oh, Mercury. Jesus. Bruno Wall was coming round turn 3 there, and Gravity was booked. He was coming out the pits on his outlap for his final run, and he was like, drifting towards the main racing line, and Bruno Wall's coming round turn 3 at full tilt, and if Gravity wasn't aware of what was running about him there, that could have been a serious incident there, but fortunately enough, both cars were still running. Bruno Wall's lap itself looks quite tidy, it's quite clean at the minute, as he comes through the chicane between the two straights into the second DRS activation zone. He's got the ERS deployment into the overtake as he comes across the second delta line into the 100 metre board. He's up by 6/10, so he is definitely improving on his lap. He's just got the tight and twisted third sector left in a bit as he goes by the double chicane and into whatever that turn number is. I'm absolutely recalling, I'm not going to be able to count them, but we're going to watch Bruno Will through the third sector here, as this will probably most likely be his final representative lap, as his ERS and fuel light are both at their lowest as he comes through that tricky turn where Matty had lost the car earlier in the section of Ferrari, getting out of the way of a rail. He's only got 1 minute turn left to navigate. ERS into hot lap, downshift to second for the extra rotation up to the line at 34.2, puts him
Only P6.
fastest.
That's not good at all, and Dominic as well, he's made it onto a lap, his tyres are 7 laps old, Riggsy. He's not going to want to start on those.
He's probably going to, I don't really know, I feel like he's probably going to back out his lap. I think that he might be baiting us into him representing his time, but I definitely wouldn't want to get myself into the top 10 on rubber, the shape of a 50 pence piece, but I'd much rather sit outside the top 10 now. He missed his chance to come in early on. He's giving the Ferrari a truck of slipstream down the straight though. His trucker pulls to the outside. We've got a racing going on down the straight, and I think Dominic there, with the Ferrari getting in the way, has kind of spelled the end of his qualifying session, and Dominic's going to start from 16th at best. This is backed up. He's not even backed up the lap, he's still gone here, but he's lost a lot of time to trucker overtaking. And I'll sit on board with Dominic as he comes across the deadline. He's down there 5 seconds, he's not going to improve. It'll be 16th for Dominic at best.
Well, I was just watching Joel on board, Riggsy, and he nearly had the same incident that Errol Matty had as DJ Danny. It's a purple final sector, he goes P6. Joel invalidated his lap on the final sector. We'll go on board with Liberos. He is now coming through the final sector, he's invalidated his lap. So his chances in this session are over as we now flick down to Churka. See what he can do. Coming through the final corner now. Can he mount himself onto pole position as he comes through the final set? As Maudi gets a 5-place grip on it, and Churka goes pole position by 0.4 of a second. So he takes it. Will anybody be able to challenge him now? As we see, everybody seems to be backing off of their laps. We see Hamdam still going. He's coming through the final corner now. Can he get himself onto pole position? Haven't seen his delta as he comes across the line. Where's he going to go? He goes P2 with the purple final sector. Can't quite mount himself onto pole position. And I think that might be it, Riggsy.
Buckley dived into the pits as well. I don't know if he invalidated there, but he
Eke's
did run
got wing
wide on the
damage.
penalty turn. Eke's just
Eke into the wall.
He's just decided,
So
I'll just
he's
crash
out
my
of the
car
session.
here. Just crash my car
That
and
is
go
your
back to my
Prince.
hotel room.
Well, he was pretty much at the hotel anyway, so
Well, he did the job on
not
that
the
bike.
session that VLT Eke would have wanted, but it is Churka 76 with, I believe, his first pole position of the season. Hamjam lines up second place alongside, and Buckley with a very good qualifying in P3 alongside F1 Gravity as well in P4. So a very strange top 4 to start this race. It's going to make for an interesting start.
Definitely. That's the start. But I definitely know a top 4 that we're quite used to seeing. We've been seeing Dominic and Bruno Will fighting for the pole position accolade time in and out throughout the season, but it's Churka that takes it here in the dusk of Abu Dhabi. with a 33.5. Hamjam will be sharing the front row, so Ferrari, Mercedes, Toro Rosso and Williams are the front four. Libero in 5th, DJ Danny in 6th, Bruno Will only managing 7th on the final run, Eki in 8th place, Jamham and Joe this running at the top 10. Maldi just got a 5-second grid penalty at the end there, but he qualified 11th there on track. Kyle 12th, Tommy 13th, Urban Unicorn 14th, Dominic and Toxic Fusion and Dominic, apologies, they are in 14th and 15th place. No, 16th. I don't know. Too far than there, right? Too far in. But that was the grid there.
Well, Maldi's going to be very disappointed with that one, I believe. P11 would have been a very good starting place for him with free choice of tyres. But we didn't quite catch the incident. That dropped him to P16, but that is where he will be starting in this session. No surprise that we've got a dry race here in Abu Dhabi. Obviously the chance of rain being very, very slim. So it will be a dry one, starting at sunset, heading into the night. It's always a spectacle, this one, to watch.
I mean, I can see why Formula 1 comes here for the final race of the season. I mean, we were sitting discussing that in qualifying, that STB have arranged it to be Brazil as the final race. But, like, Abu Dhabi is... I would argue Abu Dhabi is, like a really glamorous event. Like, it's a very similar characteristic as Monaco. Albeit the barriers on the always in your face, but I feel like the characteristics are the same. It's where the rich come out to watch the cars going around the track. It's a very glamorous event with a nice big hotel that the cars drive under, and the marinas all around the side in the final sector. You've got Ferrari World just a stone's throw away for the end of the second DRS straight as well. This is where all the drivers come to party at the end of the season. And then you've got the sunset to the sunrise, no, not the sunrise to sunset, the sunset to darkness, and that's the metaphor of the season conclusion. So I can very much see why Formula 1 comes here as the final race, but we are not treating it as such.
Well, as you were mentioning, this is one of the most glamorous events, and I think as a setting for a track, this is probably one of the best alongside with Monaco, but doesn't always promote the best racing necessarily, but we're hoping for a good one tonight.
I mean,
and obviously, as you said, Ferrari on pole position in front of Ferrari World, they're going to be happy with that one.
Definitely. The track itself, I feel like you don't normally see absolute blockbuster races here in Abu Dhabi, but who's to say we're not going to have one though? Like, you never know. We could see like overtake after overtake after overtake after wheel-to-wheel racing in and out these 28 laps. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. I feel like the track characteristics don't really look like it promotes or screams overtaking and wheel-to-wheel in your face, but I feel like on the game we're going to see a completely different story to that. And I feel like there'll be a lot of jostling for position, especially on the first laps. Once the drivers get familiarised with their fuel loads, their tyre temperatures, their grip, as well as the setup and race trim. So there are a lot of variables for the drivers to weigh in on the early stages, as well as trying to keep their position off the start, because it's very easy to lose positions off the start, because you've got a few quick starts in the league as well, and it's just about hooking up that start.
Well, we will quickly run through the tyre selection for you. Everybody starting outside of the top 10 is on mediums, apart from STB Maudi. So he's looking to get a quick start and try and go a little bit longer at the end of the session. Bruno Will starting on mediums, obviously qualified on those tyres, and the rest of the grid is on the softs, as that is what they qualified on in that session. As you see, the drivers coming up to line up to their grid slots now. BMG Smasher just coming through the final corner as he takes up the final grid slot in his debut for STB. So here we go then. The sun is setting and we've got 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And it's lights out, and away we go. Hamjam gets a very good start, but on the outside, Sink Buckley's going to go side by side. Is he going to make the move around the outside of turn 1? He is. They're going to be side by side through turn 2 and possibly turn 3 as Buckley makes the move up into P2, further down the grid. What's going on? We've got VRT Eke battling with Domi. Everybody seems to get through unscathed. As we see Eke going very, very wide there, side by side. As Fusion makes a move and smashes already up to P16, but he's dropping down positions now as I think he's gone on the runoff area. He's going to have to give those positions back. And he's been given a 10-second penalty for cutting that corner. So that is not a good start for him as they go 3 wide coming onto the straight. And there's a lot of cars just everywhere. It's a bit chaotic, but everybody seems to have got through unscathed so far.
Everybody's still running in this race so far. The Mercury, I was literally just about to pick up on that. I was flicking through to the back of the field there, and there was 2 or 3 wide and through.
It's 3 wide again.
Everybody.
Fusion makes the move.
Oh, Fusion on Kyle there, down into the second DRS straight, into the hard braking zone. You've got 3 and 4 cars battling for the same position here. It's a wee gap starting to form between Eke and 10th and Toxic Fusion 11th already on the first lap. We saw Maldi on the soft tyres and the only driver outside the top 10 to start on the sort of compound tyres, but he's made the worst start to everybody on the back end of the field. I would have thought the soft tyres would have got him a good launch of the grid. I don't know if he's going to be bogged down on the start or just get boxed in on his grid slot. But Maldi,
Smasher, I think, brushed the wall there. He has, and he's lost a chunk of his front wing. He may be coming into the pits on the first lap. He is. It's not the start that he would have wanted. As he loses a chunk of front wing, I believe, on the wall. He's lucky not to be buried into it.
Definitely. It's so easy just to lose the front of your car into that wall. It's almost as if the car just absorbs into it, and it just gets perched into it. Very fortunate to keep the car running in this race, albeit he's got a 10-second penalty and had to make a pit stop for wing repair. Big note changes off the start with Domi and Toxic Fusion both up 3 places. Eke's lost it in 2 places, as is Jules Dis, and Kyle's lost it on 3. And no really many positions changed. Everybody did kind of keep the same position off the start, and we've seen Buckley and Hamjam switch places off the start as well. And Hamjam and Buckley and Churka, already building a wee gap between themselves.
Well, Hamjam seems to be struggling, already. I think, a little bit. He's dropping off the back, and he's now got a big train chasing him down for the final podium position.
And that was the thing.
A very good start from Buckley around the outside.
Oh, no, definitely. That Toro Rosso just looked like it was on rail at the start. Hamjam was defending the inside when that's where he was perfectly intended today, and then we just seen Buckley just hooking it up and running the outside clean as you like, kept the car within the track limits, and off he went. And he's giving Churka a bit of a chase here at the minute, and Churka's somebody as well. Mercury,
I think we've got an incident. Jules in the wall. Jules in the wall. Yep. At that corner we were on about. It's already claimed somebody as Janham comes into the pits. I'm not sure if he has damage or if he's just going for an undercut. He's the first of the drivers to pit.
I'll sit on board what's happening here. It's just a tyre change, Mercury, going to the mediums.
Yeah, straight into the mediums. So he is going for the undercut. He wants to get rid of those soft tyres as quickly as possible. And no safety car as the incident has been cleared.
That, I don't know, Mercury. I think that early, I'm just speaking my mind, I think that early pit stop onto the medium screams a 2-stop for Jamham in my mind. But whether he can make the medium.
Buckley's going to go for the move here on into P1 at the end of the straight, and he outbrakes Churka and he takes the lead off this Grand Prix. So Buckley takes the lead off of Churka. Can Churka fight back now down the next straight, heading in towards the end of the middle sector? He's going to get the slipstream. He's going to dive to the outside line. Buckley's going to hold the inside as Churka brakes much later than Buckley, and he gets the move back. He's fought back brilliantly. DRS and slipstream was enough for him to get past on the outside. And he's back into the lead.
Both drivers at the front looking very punching with the DRS as an effect. But honestly, Mercury, I was going to say before we've seen a bit of track action there. Churka was another driver I was kind of saying. We've not really seen him hitting his peak in the last few races. He's kind of been a bit of a grey area in terms of how we understand him as a driver as well, but definitely shown us that he's got pace by putting the car in pole position at the start and building a gap between the rest of the field. Albeit he's got Buckley in close company, he's really starting to build his way forward as we see Gravity and Hamjam switching places as well.
Gravity's, yeah, and Libero is into the pits as well, so he's an early stopper. I don't believe he had any damage. No, he's going on a set of mediums. I believe he had a 5-second stop though, so that's not going to help his pursuit in this session. As Domi now getting past DJ Danny into P6.
I think Libero will probably lose it to Jamham. Libero is just getting under the underpass up through the exit at turn 3, and Jamham's got him.
Buckley's going to move again.
It's so close, but we've got him there. Buckley's at DRS, and he's going to go around the outside. Is he going to repeat the same move? And he is a bit earlier on in the straight, but nonetheless gets the move done. I've seen a puff of smoke on the brake in there for the Toro Rosso with my screen referee. I don't know if that was maybe just for me, but like there was a lot of smoke coming out the rear end of that car.
I didn't quite see it, I'm not sure, but he has held the position this time on Churka. So we'll have to see if there's anything like that. Eke's now got past DJ Danny at the end of straight. They're going side by side, but he's made the move stick. So Eke's still making progress in this session, but I think the big winner out of all of them would be PFO Domi, who is still in this train in P6 on a set of mediums.
Definitely. I think he's in quite good stead here for a solid result if he can get the strategy right and manage the mediums. That's the thing as well, Mickey. You don't want to be stuck in traffic for too long on this circuit. The track itself is one of the hottest in the calendar as well, albeit we're racing late on in the day here, and I would see Hamjam pulling off into the pits there as well. But the tyre temperatures are going to be really high. The tarmac's going to be scorching, so really keeping the tyres in a really great fresh up pit window is going to be a tough ask for the drivers. But Domi in 5th on the mediums, after certain the PR's just check that quickly. That show me! Right, there we go. He's 13-12. He's up 7 places in the first 5 laps. So he is.
Danny up the inside at the hairpin.
Oh.
Sorry to interrupt you. There's a big scrap going on P8. There's 3 of them that have been pushing each other through the first sector. As we see Urban Unicorn.
And Urban Unicorn is going to be trying to go on the outside of Dominic, but he's got the Alpha A Toxic Fusion in the ways. Dominic tries to go and get the Alpha on the inside as well on the brake. And they're going side by side on the exit. Dominic's got the inside line if we can get alongside.
Urban's going to have a really good slipstream. And he's going to dive to the outside line. Is he going to make the move on Dominic? They're going to be side by side. Just they both squeeze each other. Urban's gone off the track. Oh, he's right up against the wall. I think he might have gotten away with that one. Looks like he's all right. He has lost 2 positions in the process, but he seems to have gotten away with damages. These drivers really. Oh, and Fusion's lost it through braking zone. He seems to catch that fine, but it seems that Fusion is holding a lot of people up at the moment. He is still within the DRS of Eke.
And another thing there as well was we see Churka coming in, Gravity's in as well.
And Gravity.
So some pit lane action for us to witness once again. But I was just going to pick up on this in the and he lost it on his place to Danny, so they two will switch places as well. And Buckley chose to go for the overcut here. I like making these soft last longer.
We'll see if he pits at the end of this lap.
I feel like he needs to pit at the end of this lap to cover off the undercut to Churka, and even maybe the possibility of Hamjam as well. And I'm just looking down the grid.
Churka's come out with Libero. Sorry, Big T. He was fighting with Libero in that first sector. As we see, also there's a lot of action going on at the end of straight as Errol Matty's completely cut the chicane. I'm not sure what's happened there, but he's made a mistake. And Urban Unicorn now is fighting with Kyle down the straight. Who's going to come out on top in this battle? Urban Unicorn's got the inside line, he breaks later, and he's going to hit Matty on the inside. And Kyle's got back past, and he's hit Urban, and Urban's round. That is a nightmare for Urban Unicorn. As we see now 3 wide at the end of the straight. Maddie's on the outside, Churka up the inside. Maddie's going to hold the move as Churka gets both of them. Don't know how they've avoided contact in that one. Sorry, that was Hamjam, not Maudi. As Libero hits the back of Hamjam slightly, but Churka has held his advantage in this train, but he's getting held up as Buckley is into the pits. So we'll see where he comes out in all of this. As we see Urban Unicorn has had another spin, and he's down to the back of the grid. but we will stay with Buckley. If he can get out ahead of Churka, this is going to be a good strategy call from him with the fresher tyres towards the end of the session. As we see Churka now coming down the straight, I don't think he's going to be able to get out ahead of him. He is coming down the tunnel now as Churka is ahead on track. It's going to be so close, but Buckley is going to lose the position to Hamjam as well as they come side by side. Hamjam now under pressure from Buckley as it leaves the pit lane. Going to be side by side, and he gets the move done around the outside. That was vital for Buckley in this session. But now can he hold on to the back of Churka with the slipstream and DRS?
I don't actually know if he's in the DRS window there. He was outside the second delta time in the front. The rear wing doesn't open, so he's going to lose out on the benefit of the DRS system in this straight. He is catching Churka, and this gap between him and Churka is going to be diminished, so he is well within the range once again. But he's got Hamjam, Liberal and Jamham Gravity are there as well. This big train really starting to form for what was the net lead. And what is still the net lead at this stage. It's a 6-man battle for this 7th place at the minute behind Churka.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Bruno, Will and Domi in particular can do at the end. And Dominic and Fusion as well. They are a bit behind these two out front. But those soft tyres at the end will mean that they can push hard. And they're going to have very good pace.
I feel like... Oh, sorry.
No, don't worry.
No, I was just going to say...
Kyle's into the pits. That's very early from him, sorry.
I think...
Or set mediums.
I think the drivers that have started on the mediums are really in the best position, because if you're on soft, I feel like you're kind of confined to a two-stop. Like, I feel like you have to do a two-stop because you can't be a soft to a medium. And after all the drivers that have done softs have done, they've went onto a medium tyre. So I feel like they'll be jumping onto either mediums again or onto a set of softs, depending how long they stretch the mediums for. Whereas if you're on the mediums when you started the race, you can stretch that as long as you can and jump on the hards. You can stretch it so far and jump onto softs, or you can cut it short and jump onto hards. I feel like drivers might get into tricky hard tyres.
Oh, there's been a bit of contact. Bit of a rough move, but he has got the move done on Jamham. Now he's got to try and stay in the DRS range of Libero, and he's not. So Jamham may fight back here. No, he's put his DRS down to 0, so he doesn't want to fight that as of yet. As we see Buckley closing right up to the back of Churka for this net P1 lead.
Churka's still got Buckley right on his tail. Buckley was really lucky in a sense to not lose out in their places by trying the overcut. I feel like his in-lap wasn't really that strong either, because there was one on the delta between himself and Bruno, Will and Tommy, who were right there, and he was losing time hand over fist, so these soft tyres must have really ended the cycle quite early for Buckley on that in-lap. And that's maybe why we've seen him stuck behind the Ferrari again, but he is a lot closer on this lap, so I feel like it's just a matter of sticking with it, getting the DRS, and doing the same move that he's done twice already on Churka in this race.
Well, he's certainly got the pace for it. He's obviously jumped Hamjam off the start and created a bit of a gap. So we see, I think we've got a spinner. It's Libero through turn 3. I'm not sure if there was contact involved in that, but his race is pretty much done. He has avoided hitting the wall. As we see now Buckley right on the back of Churka. He's going to look to make a move down towards the end of the straight. And he does do it very, very early before the braking zone. And he is now up into net P1 in this race. But he's going to have to try and hold Churka off down this other straight. We've seen Churka fight back on lap 2. But he has got a very good exit, so I think it will be good enough.
Buckley took that chicane quite clean as well, Merky, but Churka does still the DRS. It's going to have to be a mighty lunge if he even wants a look in at Buckley in this braking zone, and he thinks against it and opts to stick behind the Toro Rosso for the front sector. Brilliant move there with Buckley once again. It's a hat trick of the same move, albeit every time he's done it, he's got earlier each time on that straight. So Buckley making the move once again. Buckley definitely does look like he's got some serious pace here,
Bruno into the pits.
They definitely can out for the race one.
No, certainly not. He is looking like the quickest driver on the track right now, but we'll see as Dominic also pits alongside Bruno Will. So this must be a certain two-stopper. It is, as Bruno Will comes out onto the medium tyres, and Dominic is the same. So possibly all the drivers going for a two-stop here.
That definitely mixes it up a bit. Definitely like a variation in strategy, and a day like a race where you need to also pit more than the one thing. It's not just the simple medium to hards like you see at most other circuits, so I'm quite thrilled with that. And that also allows for strategy to be different. We've seen Bruno Will and Domi's just still at the race lead. Because Bruno Will and Dominic came in there, you're just taking the mediums, go to main mediums, so they're just to go kind of steady on in the early stages of this race and on the soft tyres at the end, and that's when they'll be rapid. A really light car and a really fresh rubber. So they're setting themselves up for the end of the race and keeping it steady in the early stages and in the middle as well. So that's when we'll see them the quickest is in the final stint.
Well, the thing is, Rixie, Bruno Will is only about 4 seconds off of the net lead currently, as he has made his way past Jamham and he's now trying to get onto the back of F1 Gravity. And once he clears Gravity, he's got clear air to try and push up to the back of this train. And he's back in this race with the freshest tyres out of all of these. So you see Domi coming into the pits. We'll have to monitor where he comes out in all of this, as he should be in between Bruno Will and Jamham.
I feel like that's where his delta. That's where his delta will see him filter back into the racing circuit. A healthy 1.4 second gap there between Bruno Will and Jamham as opposed to a line at the start of the 11th lap. So I feel like Domi might feed into that a bit. It looks like he's lost it.
He's on a set of hards.
Well, and he's
on a set of hards, so he's going to the end of the session.
So Domi coming into the one-stop strategy as he just beats Danny out the pit lane.
He's now going to have to try and keep Danny behind there. Danny is on a reasonably fresh set of medium tyres, as Buckley now coming up to the back of Matty. Matty's still to pit in this session as Matty goes defensive here, as Buckley's going to have to go to the outside line. They're going to go side by side, but it looks like Matty doesn't fight that one. He lets Buckley through. So this could be crucial in this race, as we see Bruno Will making his way past Gravity before the braking zone. And Danny possibly going for a move on Domi. He is up the inside at the end of the straight. So already he's made his way past Domi, so Domi's going to have a long, long way to go in this session. Obviously not going for another pit stop will help, but he's going to have to keep the pace up if he wants to stay ahead. As we see now, Churka right on the back of Matty. Will Matty hold Churka up and possibly make him lose the DRS on Buckley? This is going to be for a race win as we see him. Churka's looking for a move, and he is putting his nose in. Matt gives him space. He's now going to try and go in the outside, surely not round here, underneath the hotel. And it's going to be squeezed on the outside, but he does make the move. That's a great move from Churka around the outside. Matty gave him the space, gave him the respect, but it's a brilliant move from Churka. But look at the gap he's already made to sink Buckley. This is crucial as Matty comes into the pits. There's now a 2-second gap, and Bruno Will sets the fastest lap of the race.
Matty pitting there is really just twisting the blade there for Churka there. He was holding him up through that third sector, made them go the long way round, losing excess of a second to Buckley just to come into the pits. Just to come into the pit lane. He made that so much harder for Churka, which is completely pushed the Ferrari well out within the DRS activation range. And I was going to say, he has really put him in the back foot at Hamjam, but Hamjam's still 1.5 away, but he's opened the well for company, who's great. I should really make it easy past the DRS down the main straight, and he does. He's made it well before the braking zone, but it's Hamjam going to try and look up the inside once again. And looks like we're most likely just shape his still up far down
the next DRS straight.
Just looking like he's going to return the favour down this straight, but I don't know if he looks close enough, half a second. I think he needs to be a wee bit closer than that, but we'll see if he gets a chance or a look in. He does not. So Hamjam having to sit behind Bruno Will after losing it in third place.
Dominic is slipping up the inside of Domi at the end of the straight, and he has been given a penalty as Domi doing a bit of a squeeze. Dominic was a bit too far back, stuck his nose in. Dominic getting cut off from the rest of this train. He's not made the progress that he's going to want to, but Bruno Will looking like the fastest man on the track currently. He's already on the back of Churka and ready to make a move possibly down the next straight. Churk is struggling for a bit of pace, as well as Hamjam. I thought those two would be a lot quicker in this session. With their... Oh, as we see Eke's retired from the session. He's in the same place. That is right on the racing line. That surely is a virtual safety car, not a full safety car.
Oh, and a VSC has been deployed.
And he must have just drifted wide. Same instant we saw with Matty as he ended up completely the wrong way on the racing line.
It's just something that is so easy to do. Like a complete slip in your concentration can result in your retirement or can result in an accident. It's so easy just to make tiny mistakes like that, Mercury's. And like the concentration, as soon as it drifts, you can end up in the wall. I don't know if that's how it's happened to Eke or if it's just been a mistake. But it's the same places where Matty was caught up in qualifying. I'm sure that's where BMG's marshal was about his flag as well in the early stages as well. So easy to make a mistake in there.
Yeah, Dominic's made the move on Domi right at the restart, but Dominic's going to be fighting back as Dominic has a massive slide on the exit. He will have DRS as well as Domi in front. When you go for the move down the inside at the end of the straight, he will. He's going to be outbrake Domi, and that is an easy move for him. Good move down the inside. He's now got his teammate in front of him. But one thing to notice, Riggsy, is KF Libero pitted under the VSC. He was the only driver to do so, and he's on another set of mediums, and I believe he will be going to the end of the race. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's got the pace to possibly close up. He's a long, long way off, but you never know.
If it was a full safety, at the point of Eke's accident, if it was a full safety car, you've already seen like the top six driving by the pit lane already, so they would have lost time. And you could have seen Libero come up and join the pack and really benefit from that pit stop that he made. But starting 15th, no, sitting in 15th at the moment, sorry, I think he needs a safety car to get back into this race, as he is just at the back of the field battling Urban Unicorn, so it seems I can see on the map. But if the full safety car was to come out, one person that would seriously lose it would be Domi.
So here comes Bruno Will at the end of the straight, and he outbrakes Churka again. Same move that Buckley made. And he's going to try and look to hold this now. He gets a very good exit down the straight. I'm not sure if Churka is going to be close enough to make the move. As he doesn't seem to be gaining on him enough. He's not going to be able to go for the move. He's going to take one almighty lunge. As Bruno now up into P2, so we'll see if he can close the gap down to Buckley in P1. Oh, sorry, up the inside, Dominic. Danny, I'm not sure if he let him through there or not, but Jamham nearly whacking the back of him, and Dominic getting involved in that as well. But Dominic is past his teammate, and up into P6.
Dominic making some moves. I don't know what happened. I don't really know what happened there. I just heard you going, oh no, and then I just flipped the other way back down to see what was happening. And I've seen Dominic overtaking his teammate as well. So it's a Red Bull formation, 6th and 7th at the moment. Jamham, apologies, doing an 8th. Just got Domi right there as well. But I feel like if that was a full course safety car, Domi would have seriously lost it, because he's lost it in some serious track position by going on these hard tyres. And he knows that everybody in front of the pit gate, so it's just a matter of keeping the pace and just keeping consistent, keeping a relatively quick delta, and waiting for them to pit and see where he feeds out. Where does he feed out at the moment? So he's currently 14 seconds off the leader.
I think. Yeah.
He would have. I don't know, Mercury, because.
Well, he's looking to make a move on Jamham here, so he's getting a move on. Jamham being cut off from DJ Danny, so he's made up the place on the inside. Will Jamham fight it back down the end of the straight, obviously being on the quick tyres, but very, very old ones, 12 lap old, so he will be looking to pit very, very shortly. As it looks like he's got a better exit, and he will keep ahead of Jamham.
Really looking forward to seeing how Domi's hard tyres hold up, because 14 seconds, it's about what, 20 second pit stop, 22 second pit stop, it's quite a long pit lane, really long pit lane exit as well. So,
Well,
Bobby,
obviously they'll all be on softs at the end will be his only issue. I believe that they will all be on softs at the end of the race. So it will be difficult for him to hold them all up, but if he has a big enough gap, then possibly by the time they catch up, he will be able to fight them and keep them behind. But we'll have to see whether it's going to be a strategy masterclass or it will flop.
definitely. That will be a matter of whether I can keep the pace up as we see Jamham diving back into the pits for his second pit stop this race.
He must be going on mediums.
This will be the mediums to the end. As we see the Haas boys getting to work there, we'll jump on board with Gravity. He'll be looking to make a move on Hamjam as they both exit the hairpin at turn 6. Gravity's going to have DRS and a good bit of his ERS at his disposal as well.
Very, very far back though. The DRS working its magic, and he is going to pull up right to the back of him and try and set up a move down the next DRS straight if he can.
There's a big bit of lag for me there. Gravity's going straight into the back of Hamjam there, but Gravity is in his acceleration wasn't enough to try and draw the Mercedes in, so he knew that he
Hamjam seems to get very good
straight.
exits off of the straights, which puts enough distance between him and Gravity. So Gravity is looking very quick, but he's going to need to get past Hamjam if he's going to challenge for this podium.
That's Hamjam really putting that Mercedes to good defensive use there. He's going to go to his strategy nailed down, because he definitely does look really quick, regardless of whether he's got DRS or not. He looks really quick down the straight, whether or not he's got the DRS system at his disposal.
And they're both into the pits.
Pit lane.
Both dive into the pits. They're all on medium tyres to the end. So we will stay on with this, see if one of them gets the jump or not. Obviously, Mercedes pitbox being before Williams is going to help them and give them an advantage, but yeah, it looks like a clean pit stop for Mercedes. As Gravity comes into his pitbox now, and he is going to get held up a little bit by Hamjam. So that will affect him. Look at the gap that he's now got in the pit lane. He's going to have to push quite hard to make sure that he keeps within that DRS, as we see Bruno Will now in the DRS of Buckley. So he is eyeing him up for this race lead.
Bruno Will really just in a class of his own there. Buckley in the first stand, and then when Bruno Will got a wee bit of clean air, he knew this was just time to put the foot down and reel everybody in, and that's just exactly what he's doing. Just has picked up a 3-second time penalty there for abusing the track limits there. So he's going to have 3 seconds added onto his final race time. But Bruno Will really on the back of Buckley at this stage. Buckley been quite consistent, he's been quick. We were sitting earlier discussing him briefly for the race one. We can't really count him out, but we can't really count out Bruno Will either, who will be going on to the softs. I'm assuming near the end. He will need to make another pit stop regardless, because he went medium, and the rules indicate that you need to have 2 different tyre compounds run in a dry race, so he'll need to come in at some point. But Buckley on fuel up all the tyres as well, so Bruno Will definitely has the grip advantage as well as the tyre life.
He's really closing up the gap to Buckley, obviously being on the fresher mediums, but yeah, as you said, he's still got his quickest stint to come on those soft tyres. So it is looking very good at this stage for Bruno Will, but Buckley as well has got about 5-second gap to Churka. So if he can hang on to the back of Bruno Will on the end of this medium stint, then he still has a chance in this race.
Definitely, he got an average exit. He got enough there taking a...
Well, Bruno's really close. Buckley. Yeah, he's going to go for the move on the outside. Buckley goes defensive, but DRS is just too powerful, and Bruno Will makes his way up into P1 in this race. Will Buckley fight it back down the end of the straight? We've seen Bruno Will get very good exits out of here, and he's got another one there. So I'm not sure Buckley will be close enough to fight back.
Also, I was just jumping on board with Buckley there. He clipped that inside sausage curb on the exit, and that just kind of made the car wobble a bit. And that's also going to reduce the amount of traction the car gets on the exit. So it was that sausage curb was enough to completely destabilise Buckley's attempt at Bruno Will doing that straight. And Bruno Will takes the race lead.
Danny's just made his way back past PFL Domi. Domi made his way past him on the first straight, and Danny's fought straight back and gotten down the other straight, but Domi is making moves and he's looking very, very quick in this race, so he's going to have to try and clear Danny and get away from him if he can. Danny will be coming into the pit lane very, very soon, as we see Bruno Wills already extended the gap to 1.2 seconds, and Churka's into the pit lane.
Churka will be trying to get the undercut once again. Oh, we've missed Hamjam pitting as well.
Yep, and he's on set softs. Briggsy.
Oh no, we didn't. I'm getting a bit lost.
No. Yeah, Hamjam's just come out with Gravity. Gravity has lost out a lot of time to him, but Churka is on the soft tyres. So
soft tyres.
He is trying to take them to the end, I suppose, but it's a long, long way to go. As we see, Kyle has retired from the session. He's in the pit lane. Another poor race from him, but Churka now on the back of Gravity and Matty. These two looking to go to the end of the session. No, sorry, Matty's still got a pit, but Gravity is looking to go to the end of the session. So we'll see down the straight what can Churka do.
You can just see the amount of crap, even with Gravity's fresh mediums to Churka's fresh softs, you can just see how much easier it is for Churka to turn his car in. As he's going to make a double move into the braking, Gravity definitely makes the move as Churka and Matty goes side by side. Matty's on the other side. Churka takes clean on the outside though. Easy pickings there for the first volume. He's going near DRS.
And will he make the move as well on Gravity? Is he close enough to make a dive at the end of the straight? He is closing all the time. Gravity goes half defensive. Churka around the outside, outbrakes him, but Gravity lets off the brakes. They squeeze each other through the chicane, and Gravity holds the position. Churka couldn't quite get the move done on both the Williams drivers, but he is going to be eyeing Gravity up as soon as possible. He needs to clear this traffic and try and catch up to the back of Hamjam as soon as he can.
Churka really needed to make that move if he wanted to take the full benefit of the freshness that the cars are going to be on the stint. As he's finding himself stuck in the dirty air of Gravity in front in the battle for 8th place. The gap between Bruno and Buckley is up to 2.1. I don't know if they're Buckley at this point, Mercury. Do you just try and stretch the lead a little bit longer and then go and soft at the end? I feel like Churka might have maybe jumped the gun, but I can understand why he done it, because he was under threat for the undercut for Hamjam and Gravity. And that's why he's done that to cover his bases. Unfortunately, I lost out on that. But him being on soft tyres to try and make them to the end, that is a stretch. I feel like
it is a bit of a stretch.
Still being on the mediums, he can stretch that out a wee bit. Oh,
you see, he's going to make the move now on Gravity. Pretty simple with DRS and slipstream. But can he hold it down the next straight? We will have to survive this order first. As he gets a good exit, and he looks as if he will be clear of Gravity going down to the chicane at the end of the straight. But we will watch as Gravity is fighting back. And he lowers his DRS last minute. He doesn't want to go for that move as he knows Churka's got the pace. If he can just keep up with him.
It'll just got to pull him back Ferrari and just kind of... I feel like it's always like if you're a Formula 1 driver, as we see Bruno diving into the pits, but there's Buckley. Buckley's in as well.
We'll have to see what Dominic is the same. So Domi will take the lead of this race, I believe. We'll have to see what the gap is, as they're all going to go on soft tyres, I believe. Yeah, Bruno on softs, Buckley on softs, and Dominic all on softs. As we will watch PFL Domi, and you can see Bruno Will coming into the tunnel now. So Domi has 8 more laps of this race, including this one. What is the gap? As DJ Danny actually comes out ahead of Bruno Will, but the gap is not a lot. In all honesty, Riggs, it's 2 seconds with Bruno Will on fresh softs. So he's going to struggle to keep all of these drivers behind. Hamjam has made his way past Buckley through the pit stop period. As Bruno Will already making a move on DJ Danny on those fresh softs. So he's already cut the deficit by half to PFL Domi. He gets a move done before the braking zone.
And
but
Domi's
he is
right
looking
there,
very strong.
And Domi is literally right here. It could be
Yeah, he may go for the move. And he is. He's going to storm past Domi. Domi doesn't fight it. And Bruno Will already back into the lead of this race. As he goes purple middle sector, showing him the pace that he has got. And he's going to streak away from Domi here on those old hard tyres. but it'll be a question of who can follow him and who will take the final podium places. It looks as if Bruno Will is got the pace as long as he keeps it consistent.
That's exactly it. Mercury's been able to clean air. He's already built a second over Dummy already in one sector alone. So really stretching the legs of that Renault engine and those fresh tyres.
And Danny goes into the pits.
Danny and Domi as well, actually. Mercury.
Yeah,
Domi's
not going to the end. I think he knew that that strategy was going to be difficult to pull off, but pitting is going to put him just as far down. So we'll see where he comes out, whether he can possibly pick up some points in this race. But Buckley now right on the back of Hamjam, as Bruno Will's already 4 seconds clear up in front.
I mean, I'll give credit where it's due though. I do like a driver that does kind of throw a bit of caution to the wind and does try something a bit bold and audacious, as like jumping on a different strategy. I mean, albeit it didn't work, but you can't fault him for trying something different. And it was the fact that the hard tyres, we've seen it with Bruno Will just overtaking him on his out lap, and there was just, you could just see on that Toro Rosso there was absolutely no grip on the exit of slow corners. The traction just wasn't there, car wasn't hooking up, and the purchase that he was getting off slow corners wasn't there. And I feel like he probably should have pitted a bit earlier, but at the same time, you can have to sit and reflect, because Domi was keeping up with Bruno Will in the first time when they were both on the mediums, and he was a bit bold to throw his strategy out the window in a sense.
It was very risky to go on the hard tyres. I feel like he would have been better going on, obviously in hindsight it's easy to see, but I think it would have been better for him to go onto the two-stop, where realistically he would have come out in P2 in this pit stop period.
Aye, speaking of theoretics, he could have been in second place or third, or like kind of fighting at the top end of the grid. But I mean, see, at the end of the day, he can write that one after the next time he does have dummies like this one does not work. I'll just stick to this today. Like that's kind of what he's going to be saying, and I think like racing is just trial and error with your strategy as well. Like there is going to be times when you call it wrong, like, and you just look back and you just kind of build on it. I mean, I don't think it was a waste per se. He has a ninth on fresh rubber, and he's right behind Liberal.
But we are watching, Dominic now is going to make an easy pass on Gravity by the looks of it. He's pretty much pushing him out of the exit on his fresh soft tyres. As we have a yellow flag, there is an incident with Urban and Maudi. Maudi's into the pits. So again, it's not been the race that he wanted. Been a difficult one for him, but Domi now has Danny for company, as he's just come out the pits, and Danny is going to go up the inside of Domi here at the end of the straight. And Libero and Fusion, there's a bit of a mix-up between the two Alphas. I'm not sure if any of them picked up any damage as Urban retires from the session, but now Domi down the straight is going to have Slipstream and DRS. Not a lot of DRS, so Danny moves over quite early. And Domi's around the outside, and we have a virtual safety car as they're side by side. And it looks like Domi does keep the move, but that is a virtual safety car. I believe for Urban's car, which is off. Yeah.
Maudi was getting quite close for comfort there with the stricken pass. It was like, I'll let a close look at this, Urban. But I did see Urban was discussing in the Discord that he was trialling running no traction control. And coming through turn 3, he was on 16 lap hard, so the rear end grip's going to fade away, and the rear wheels are going to be...
I'm not sure if he had contact with Maudi there, because they both seem to have a bit of a spin, so they may have... Maudi was catching Urban for the latter stages.
He did have...
I'm not sure.
Both, I mean, I don't exactly know what the contact was between the pair of them, but both of them were stationary on the final turn. Maudi was...
Oh, and
slowly
Dominic, sorry. We're given a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits as we go green after the second virtual safety car period, but that is going to affect him hugely. I'm not sure if that will be looked at in the steward's room afterwards again, but he is looking possibly on for a podium in this race, so that is going to affect him quite significantly.
That's potentially down to the fact that when you corner cut or track extend under safety car or virtual safety car conditions, I think the stewards in the game anyway are quite strict. They kind of lay down the law of it, like you shouldn't even be gaining time by car the track anyway. So I think it may have just been the fact that it was under a yellow flag period where he's just decided to track extend. Like, I mean, obviously when the virtual safety cars out, the cars follow a delta. So when they follow the delta, he's maybe just track extended a wee bit or let the car run off a wee bit further than he intended to, and he's picked up a second penalty. Stewards have seen that as again an advantage, and they've just straight up given him a penalty because they feel he should have been gaining any time under a VSC or safety car yellow flag period. I think that's purely what it's come into, but I don't know whether he'll flag that up to the STB stewards. So I think that'll be something that the stewards will maybe potentially be looking into at the end of the race.
Well, we see Churka now. He is pulling right onto the back of Hamjam, obviously on those fresh softs, but how long will they last is the question. He's already done 6 laps on them, but he's going to look to make a move on Hamjam down the end of the straight. And the question is, can he keep the rest of the field behind and take this final podium position? I'm not sure if he's got the tyre life to go for P2 with Buckley, but obviously penalties will be involved in this session, as Hamjam seems to keep Churka behind down that straight. So let's see if he can do it on the next straight.
Hamjam just seems to get, I mean, there must just a bit of wobble there. I'm sitting directly on board with Churka behind in 4th place. Churka on the hairpin, the turn 6 was braking for it, and the car just seemed to swarm, and the front end just kind of seemed to look a bit uneasy on turning, so Churka didn't get the full benefit of the car turning in from a wider
We've got
entry.
a battle further down as well, sorry, Riggsy, as Domi and Danny still going at it. Domi's made the move, but Danny's going to come straight back at him. And he's made the move, and he's held the inside line. It's a good move from Danny, and he holds Domi yet again.
And the Red Bulls and the Toro Rossos, the sister teams, fighting for 8th place. And then Dominic's right on the back of this train for 3rd place as well, but he's got that 5-second penalty. Definitely, it's starting to cook now. Here is the skies covered in darkness, which is the floodlights that dawn on the circuit. But as you were saying, Mercury, Churka's not really getting the full advantage of straight line speed. Hamjam's always getting the punches.
He seems to be struggling a bit. Dominic is going to go for a move on the outside before the straights even, the DRS detections even happened, actually. So he's around the outside of Churka, and he's now going to line up the move on Hamjam down the end of the straight. He is looking like the quickest driver out of these 3, with 3 laps remaining. It looks like it's going to be a pretty easy move with how close he is behind Hamjam, but Hamjam isn't going to give it up. He's now put himself down into harvesting mode, and Dominic has made the move at the end of the straight, but will Hamjam fight back down the next DRS straight as we head at the end of the chicane? Dominic gets a very good exit. We'll have to see if either of these drivers can make the move. But yeah, Dominic is far enough ahead, and Churka not able to close up on Hamjam on that occasion. We'll flip back to Domi. Domi's going to look to make the move as well. Sorry, Riggsy.
On TJ Danny, he's in the slipstream, he's at the DRS flap open. Danny can stay left and make him go the long way round. He's getting a squeeze on the outside as well, Mercury. Domi's trying to take the curbs as they go side by side. Danny and Domi
give each other a bit of a tap, and
that was the thing there. We've seen the slipstream coming into play. The DRS was there. Domi was throwing his ERS deployment into overtake to get as much speed behind the Red Bull as he could, and then he was forced to go to the outside, but then Danny, on defending that move, just gave him a bit of a nudge to the far side of the track, just to say, right, yeah, you're going to go around the outside, and I'm going to make it a wee bit harder for you, and just gave him a squeeze on the outside into the braking zone. That so easily could have just went wrong, but very fun, but I feel that was fair because there was still a car from the outside, but these two only letting. I mean, this is just getting a bit heated now. This is another battle. This is where
Fusion's now getting involved, isn't he? He's right behind the 2 drivers, so he's going to look to clean up anything that does happen between these 2 drivers. As Churka's not able to make the move down the first straight, so we have a yellow flag in sector 2. That looks like Maudi. Maudi is off on the left hand side. He's let Buckley through, and Churka's really struggling to get past Hamjam here. Hamjam's got the pace, and he's still keeping up with Dominic for now, as we see Danny is now going to look to make the move again on PFL Domi. Can he make it stick this time? He's deep in the DRS and slipstream of Domi. He flicks to the outside line. Can he outbrake him at the end of the straight? And he does. He makes the position on Domi. These two have traded yet again. Will Domi fight back towards at the end of this final sector? It will be difficult to make a move, but he will be able to stick with him and try and make a move on the next lap. Sorry, you're on the final lap, Briggsy. As we see Bruno Will starting now.
Bruno Will's going to take his run the 28th and final lap as the race leader. He's got a 4.5 second advantage, and both Domi and Danny have picked up penalties, which will both be added to their time. Danny picked one up on the last lap, and Domi's just picked one up there. So penalties will really come into play in deciding the positions. Domi's got the inside of turn 1, Mercury. Inside the they're going
to be side by side at the top of the hill, and Domi's made the move again. But Danny's going to fight straight back down the end of the straight. You know he's not going to give this one up. As these two have a massive scrap, 4 P8 in this race. We see Churka now not even close to Ham Jam at the end of the straight. He's not going to be in DRS on the next straight. So we will flick back to this battle and see what is happening. Fusion's still just watching this battle as it unfolds. As Danny's going to be in the slipstream of DRS again. He will look to make the move down the first straight as Domi is going to go defensive. Danny flicks to... Oh, the bit of contact! He seemed to move early, and Danny make a move up the inside, gives him a squeeze to say, what was that? But now Domi is going to have he is going to get the DRS on the outside, and there's a bit of contact, and Danny's out! Danny's out of the race! And Domi into the wall, he's lost his following, and Fusion is out as well. Massive crash at the end of this session. As the two drivers came to blows, it was happening the last few laps, you saw it going, and they are out of this race. We see Bruno Will crossing the line as the fireworks go off. He wins in Abu Dhabi. And Buckley will cross the line in P2 to take another podium, and Dominic will finish P3 on the road, but Hamjam is promoted on penalties. So he is provisional P3 for now. F1 Gravity finishes P5. Churka, with a load of penalties, drops down to P6. As we see Jamham in a race of his own, he finishes P7, nearly getting Churka on penalties. And Domi now, with the incident at the end, he finishes P8 on the road, but Matty will jump him on penalties. And Libero rounds out your top 10. Well, that was an explosive finish, Riggsy. What did you make of the incident?
I don't know. I think that battle between the pair was just going on for so long. It was going to have to hit a boiling point at some point. We'll kind of cover the podium celebration first before we can reflect on what just happened. Domi's left the session, he's no hanging about. But Bruno Will, from 7th on the grid, I want to say, is like a subconscious decision there. I think that was since he started. Takes the top step, Buckley in second. Strong drive for him. Definitely been one of his better performances of the season, and Dominic loses it on the podium on the road to Hamjam. Another strong result for the Mercedes as well. The pace wasn't exactly there to its fullest extent, where I've known that he could have been performing better, but third in the end up is still a strong result, and it can carry on the momentum that he's been bringing. And we've got a race result there, Mercury. That's the race result.
Yeah. It was a hectic end to that race as Bruno Will takes another victory. Couldn't quite grab the championship this season, but he has proved what his pace is like with a very, very solid 2-stop, starting on the medium tyres. Sink Buckley takes a second spot on the podium, and Hamjam on the road takes P3 for another podium this season. Dominic with a good drive from P15 up to P4, Gravity finishes P5. Churka P6, Jamham P7, Matty jumping to P8 with that last incident, Libero P9, and Domi down in P10 with the incident at the end. And Fusion, Danny, Urban, Kyle, VRT Eke, BMG Smasher and Jewel, all your DNFs, with Maudi finishing that lap down.
And while we get everybody in, I'll just kind of jump back to what you were asking about, what my opinion was on the incident. We've seen them back and forward, lap in, lap out, doing the two DRS straights, overtaking, trading position, jostling for position, getting the elbows out any time they could. DJ Danny gave him a couple of squeezes into the hard braking zones. We've seen Domi there kind of moving twice especially into the braking zone as well. So DJ Danny had to take a void in action there, but with the way that battle was just constantly ticking over, it felt like it was going to hit a boiling point eventually. Because the more the battle went on, the more aggressive it got, in my opinion. And I feel like that in itself was just a recent incident. Domi was trying to get around the outside, try and get the run, but got too much to the curb, and DJ Danny just gave him a bit too much of a squeeze, and that just meant DJ Danny and Domi were both just getting sent to the Armco. I feel that might just generally be a racing incident, but whether or not it goes to the stewards, that's another thing.
Well, I'm sure the stewards will at least have a look at that incident, but we do have the podium sitters and also F1 Gravity in the party, so if you'd all like to include your audio, and we'll give you a quick interview and rundown of the race. So we will start with F1 Gravity, P5 in the race. You were pretty quick, I would say, in the first stint. Fell off a little bit towards the end, but P5 is still a very good result. Do you feel like there was more in terms of your performance that you could have got possibly onto the podium, or was that something you were quite content with?
I mean, I think I was pretty much the same pace as Hamjam throughout most of the race. And it's just when we pit the same lap, he gained like 3 seconds in the pit stops because I'm right at the bottom of the pit lane and got held. And then that put me behind a couple cars. So I don't know what the difference would have been if I would have got a podium had I decided to do the undercut or maybe just not held. But I think P5's realistically where I should have finished.
Well, you mentioned about your little incident in the pit lane with Hamjam. Obviously very unfortunate, nothing to do with anything of your fault, any mistake. But you did get caught up, I believe, behind Matty.
Yeah, and Kyle, I think. Well,
yeah. Did you feel as if you were going to catch up to Hamjam at that late stage, or did you sort of think that it was pretty much over for your podium after you got caught in that little battle?
Well, obviously I kept trying. I could have been a bit quicker. Well, I thought to myself I might be a bit quicker because I was a bit quicker in the first stint. But on the mediums, I think the pace was pretty much exactly the same, so the gap stayed the same then as Churka and Dominic flew past me. I just tried to stay consistent.
Well done on your P5, and thank you for the interview, and we wish you good luck for next week as well.
Thank you.
I think we've got Hamjam in here again.
Yep.
Another podium on the road, possibly steward's inquiry, maybe a different result, but for now you are P3. I believe that is 4 podiums from 5 races, and obviously last week just missing out. We went through last week about how you've really propelled yourself onto the top 3 drivers really at the end of this season. What are your aims for next season in this league? Are you looking possibly for a championship run?
I don't think so. I'd just like to keep getting on the podium again, to be honest. I think I'm up to 4th in the championship now. I didn't think I'd be anywhere near that really at the start of the season. I would have been perfectly fine with the top 10, but I mean, can't really complain.
Well, with that result, obviously Urban Unicorn having a very bad race, he retired from the session. That puts you very, very close, and I think you do overtake him in the championship now. 1 race left to go. Are you confident in securing that P4?
I'd like to think so. I'm obviously on quite a nice run of form, so don't see why not.
Well done on another good result tonight, and wish you good
Cheers
luck for next week as well.
Thank you.
And finally, we'll come to Sink Buckley. Very good drive from you. It was looking as if you were the favourite to take the victory throughout a lot of that race, but Bruno Will in the end managing to get past. What were your thoughts when he did fly past you? Did you want to try and keep with him, or did you feel like you could keep with him, or was it one that you were trying to just hold that P2 and get as many points as you could?
Yeah, when I started the race, when I kicked Charka, then I finally got in front of him. I was like, okay, maybe I could win this race. But when I saw Bruno Will was catching me before the first pit stop, I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm winning this one with the pace of Bruno Will in that race. But I tried to keep with him and, you know, try to secure my P2. That was the mentality at the end of the race, just keep that P2, and yeah, it worked.
I will briefly ask, is that your second podium this season?
I think so, yeah. But obviously, this is probably one of been my best races from the season so far, so...
Well, for sure. I think I will quickly ask, obviously you had a very strong start to the season, and you were looking on par to possibly battle for that P4 that we were mentioning with Hamjam. Obviously it did fizzle out a bit in the middle of the season, but obviously a good result tonight. Obviously Brazil next week as well. Are you confident that possibly you can mount a challenge towards the top 10 in the championship with your last race in Brazil?
I had a look at championship standings, and I think I should be on for P7 or something. The battle between me and the other guys for P7, and it's really close. So you know, with the races I've had so far, like Mexico, USA, I should have had a good result, but unfortunately I had to leave that race early. So then obviously this race I had a really good result, and I can build that up to another good result in Brazil. So yeah.
Well done on another podium, and thank you for the interview, and best of luck for the finale next week. But that's it for tonight. Thank you to everybody who has watched the stream, watched the race. We have one more duel next week, next Monday, same time. So make sure to join us on that one in Brazil. Thank you, Riggsy, for joining me tonight. It was an entertaining race.
I definitely very much enjoyed it, start to finish. It was, I mean, I was kind of having my questions about Abu Dhabi and the circuit itself, but I mean, I'm quite happy to be proven wrong with another strong showing. Battles up and down the field I thoroughly enjoyed. Just want to extend my congratulations to everybody who was on the podium, everybody that also partook, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the season 16 finale in a week's time.
Well, do make sure to join us, as I said, next week, same time. We have the final race of F1 2019, and we'll look to send off with a bang. We'll see you then.